though it's a small room because
Testing.
we're enjoying the music over there.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Fire, like this.
Use your outside voice.
I was a drill instructor in marching band. You don't want my outside voice.
No, let me tell you, this one's an introvert. So, any introverts in the room? You get a prime example right here of how an introvert becomes an extrovert.
Still in progress. It's always in progress. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It is later than we had thought it would be when we first signed up for this.
Yeah, basically, I would be at home right now playing Sea of Thieves, Destiny 2 with her, or kicking ass in Call of Duty, or even Kingdom Hearts, because I'm catching up on the Kingdom Hearts title since Nikki already beat it and made me watch it, so hey.
In other words, gaming.
Yeah.
It's how we chill each night after we toss the kid into bed. So,
Good classes.
So we wanted to first kind of talk to you guys about how we came to be, and then start to hear what some of your challenges are, and how you're trying to find somebody.
Which means don't be afraid to volunteer, guys, because we're going to need some volunteers.
You can shout something out if you like, if you don't feel like standing up. I don't blame you one bit.
We figured that by telling you our story first, like we're dating coaches, obviously, and we figured by telling you our story first, it might actually give you guys some inspiration for your own dating life, because I know what it's like to be single. Trust me. I went through hell. I went through heartbreak. I went through trying to find myself over and over again, and I found my dream partner, Jessica, here, and every day I wake up, I am the happiest person in the room. Like, I just light up every time she's around me. Like, when I'm gaming, she always inspires me. When I'm out there on the floor, she inspires me to be my best geeky self, because we all know we're here at GalaxyCon, every one of us in this room. This is a D&D titled workshop, so every one of us knows something about Dungeons and Dragons, or knows something about something geeky. And every one of us has that geek inside of us, and we just want it to shine, and we want somebody to share that with. Because let's face it, and I want you guys to just think about it just for 1 second before we get started. Who here is tired of being single in their life? Who here is tired of waking up every morning wishing that there was somebody there next to them that they could share their greatest adventures with?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate here, I'm guessing. It is absolutely amazing when you can find your partner, and you know what? You can even drag your partner into your favorite activities. That's what he did. I was not into Sea of Thieves, and he dragged me kicking and screaming. And now I'm in there too.
That's because I needed help, okay? I needed help because of all the incessant ships getting blown up all the time after I put hours and hours into hard work of getting further in the game, and then all of a sudden, boom, I'm gone.
Such as a tall tale key disappearing right when you're about to get the chest. Yeah, that hurt.
Or, when it comes to D&D, I was the rogue. I was the selfish, stuck-up, snobbish rogue, because I always wanted to be that dark, mysterious type. And I always put up this wall around myself, because I didn't want anybody to come close to me, because I was afraid of getting hurt again. And here comes my elven life, coming out of the forest, just wandering into the tavern one day. So, let's set it up. The DM takes the floor. So the first thing, before we get started with telling us our story, I want to tell you guys your story. So you walk into the tavern, and there's a beautiful maiden across from the bar staring at you. But then, there's an elvish rogue standing over there in the corner, flipping a coin, also smiling snugly at you. Who do you approach? That's the first start of your journey. Who do you approach? Are you the type that's going to go over here? Just stand over in the wall, kick back, and hang out and just wait? Or are you going to lavishly approach the bar? Lavishly with confidence, and roll that dice, roll that critical hit, and get the chance to get to know somebody just like you. That's what we're here for tonight. So, a little bit about myself. My name's Brian Eccles, for those who don't know me. One half of the Dating Warriors. And I've been doing this for 2 years, 3 years with her, inspiring people, doing workshops at cons, trying to help people, because it's a passion of mine, because we live in dark times where the world is dark and only we can make the greatest adventures come true. Because we are responsible for our own selves and our own personal power. And it's once we step into those characters that we embody at the table, at a D&D table, or even in our favorite video game, we step into that character as we cosplay, as we dress up. And I started stepping into that world a few years ago. And damn, I love it. Because I get to step into somebody that I look up to as a hero. I get to step into my own world. But it wasn't always like that. Before Jessica, I had a relationship with this lovely woman. And things were going fine at first. But then on Thanksgiving, when we're going around the table, everybody knows how Thanksgiving traditions are, how you're supposed to tell about what you're thankful for. I'm sitting there toasting my family. And she stops me in the middle of it. She's like, I have something to say. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. What are you thankful for? Well, I agree. I'm thankful for our son. I'm thankful for what we have. But I have an announcement, and I want you to brace yourself. Today is the day that we end a relationship. I'm breaking up with you. What? Yeah. Takes her ring off of her finger, because I was married to her, and she puts it on the table and says, we're done. We're through. I cannot be with you anymore. And she starts naming out reasons why. Now, naturally, that would have broken me. And most of you probably know what that's like too, being broken up with. And you got yourself there and you're left with pieces shattered on the floor. And that was me. It's like glass Brian just broke. I became depressed. I went through closing myself in, and even went as far as almost ending my life. And then I went with a friend to a trip to California because I decided to get outside my comfort zone, step outside my box. And I was on the fence about going with her to California, but I heard this voice inside of myself saying, go, you will meet her there. And I'm like, her who? You know who, just go. So I go to California. First day of the event that I'm at, my mentor is standing on the stage and he's talking about his relationship and how his college roommate that he was with from high school decided to cheat on him and break up with him. And it shattered him. And he starts talking about how our identities get tied up with other people that we date and in relationships. And that's when I had my answer. My identity, that glass that shattered, was tied up with that other woman, that ex of mine. And I was left crumpled on the floor and I had a choice. Do I go forward with confidence and start walking in the shadows and then come out of the shadows when I'm ready, but prepare myself for the greatest adventure? Or do I just end my life there, because that's where I was planning on ending my life, was in California. I had it all planned out. And I met this wonderful, beautiful girl there. And she comes out and she asked me on a date. She asked me on a date.
By the way, that was not me.
Exactly. And I'm not used to a woman asking me on a date. I'm like, I was always brought up, the man should ask the woman. Well, so I said yes, naturally. So we're just walking and talking, and she's telling me things about myself that I didn't know. Like, she's literally pointing out things. She's like, okay, she's like, first of all, she's like, here's what you need to work on to become better. I'm seeing this in you. Long story short, I came home from California. Obviously, I'm still alive here, and thank God I am, because I met Jess. A year later, I go back to California for that same mentor for a business trip. And I was told that I would meet her there again. I met another girl named Jessica who comes up to me and she tells me not to give up. She's like, you're about to go on that greatest adventure you've waited on. Right around the corner is her, the one you've waited for. Just a little bit longer and you'll be ready. She's waiting for you. She's still getting ready herself. A few months later, I met Jessica.
Now, we actually met online because he lived in Ohio, I lived in Michigan. And no, I'm not a U of M fan. So we got to talking online. First thing caught my eye. Geeky intro on his profile, mentioning World of Warcraft. I think he had a little bit of Star Trek in there too. if I'm
Also,
not
had a little
wrong.
bit of James Bond.
Yes.
James Bond.
So I mean, all these references to some of my absolute favorite things. Yes, World of Warcraft, Alliance roles. But we got to talking. A couple weeks later, we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and meet. I drive 3 hours one way to meet this guy, knowing that hey, if things don't work out, there's a couch I can have and then I can come home.
There was an offer on the table, and it's something I would never do, but my heart told me to do it. I'm like, okay, you're coming 3 hours down to see me. If this date doesn't work out, since neither one of us can afford a fancy hotel or whatever, and I don't want you going back home, there's a couch. You can hang out, watch movies, we can game, and just be friends. Yes, guys, it's okay to be friends with females. First rule, it's okay to be friends with females. Potential dates, if it doesn't work out, you should still accept their offer to be friends, because they might know somebody who is single that they can hook you up with once they know your character.
Or I might become the person you hook up with.
But I told her, I said, come down, and if it works out, you can stay the entire weekend, we can have fun and just enjoy gaming and all the geeky stuff we've been talking about for the past couple months. Let's do it.
So fast forward 4 years next month. I'd say things are going well, but it takes time. It takes courage being able to step out. Let me tell you, that whole 3 hour drive I was coming down that very first time, I was scared to my wits of going, what the heck am I doing? Because as you mentioned, when you guys were first coming in, I am an introvert, big time. I'm a bookworm. I am the classic band geek, where I'd rather be going around and playing my bone. And I was terrified of what the heck I was walking into with this.
But at the same time, I'm the traditional gothic, hiding in the closet, just mysterious and wanting to just be myself. And I'm generally not nervous on dates. And I'm sitting there, my heart was literally thumping out of my chest, thinking, oh my God, this could be it. Something tells me this is it. Do not give up now. You're right within, it's like right there. Just reach out for it. It's right there. She's coming. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Calm down, Brian. Calm down, Brian. Be yourself. And
so, a couple of things we did want to talk to you guys about is our very first block. How confident are you when you're talking to other people? How many of you would prefer to hide behind your screen, behind your character? Because let's face it, you spend more time in character sometimes than in real life, and it can be a heck of a lot easier to just step into your character's shoes.
okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, and this is the first challenge for everyone in this room right now. Because I can see you guys. I can see through all of you guys. I know you guys are capable of so much more. Some of you guys are confident, some of you aren't. But I want to see a show of hands. How many of you truly think you're confident when it comes to dating?
All right.
Okay. Bold.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you for being honest.
Exactly.
And you know what? You are all not alone. It takes guts just to put yourself out, period, for another person. Because you face that rejection. And there is no easy way to get around that, unfortunately.
How many introverts in the room?
I was gonna say. So, unfortunately, it takes work to work yourself out, to be able to get past those introverts, to get past that comfort zone of wanting to stay where you're comfortable, where you are confident in your own skills.
And it's funny, Jess and I were just talking about this on the way up because I was listening to this geeky soundtrack and we just stopped because our song came on and it's just like, you know, I just had this awesome conversation with one of my gaming friends on Xbox tonight because she's going through an abusive relationship and she knows she's got confidence. She knows she's beautiful and she knows that she's got everything, but she's just in her box and she says she's comfortable. So the first challenge, you guys just overcame the first challenge. It might not seem like much, but you raised your hands. Like, we've been doing these workshops for the last couple of years at Comic-Cons, and I can't tell you how many people are just sitting there in the back of the room with no hands raised, or they take their hand like,
being that shy?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll admit it.
So introverts, listen up. And this is coming from introvert, now extrovert. And I'll let Jess give her piece too. When it comes to being introverted, the very first thing you have to do is you have to ask yourself, how badly do I want what I want? How badly do you want to change your life? Like, how badly are you tired of living alone, looking at women or men and saying, I wish I had that? Seeing happy couples walking down the street, giggling in the game store, buying cards for each other, trading cards with each other, battling each other, kicking each other's butts. How badly do you truly want that in your life? That's the first step. You have to realize that right there, here's your box. You put yourself in the box, tear down the damn walls of the box and step outside. Like literally, just step outside. First step, small baby steps. Take that step and walk forward, because you're never gonna get more confident unless you take that first step. You know, for me, I never liked talking to women in person. I was always that guy where it's like, computer screen, and boom, there I am, typing. Because you can hide behind the computer screen because they don't see the real you. Because deep down inside, some of you, not all of you, but some of you are afraid that when you see that person and they see you not behind the computer screen, but face to face, and you sit down at the date, you feel like you're gonna screw it up by saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, or chances are you're not gonna get a second date. Chances are you're not gonna get a third date. Guess what? Here's a little tip from me, and I'm sure you agree, that if you don't make it to the third date, they're not for you. They're just a learning lesson for you about yourself. Because everybody you meet while you're here this weekend, everybody you talk to, everybody you go out and talk to at work, they're reflections of you. They're telling you things about yourself, or they're reflecting things about yourself that you know you need to work on personally. That's what happened with me. I knew that I needed to get out of my shell. I knew that I needed to start taking care of myself, my body, my health, my spiritual life. I knew that I needed to go outside my comfort zone and step outside the damn tavern and go out there, load up with my weapons, and go out there swinging. And if it's just me going solo into the forest and no orcs are coming, I'm going down with the fight. Because you only get one chance at this life. One chance. And once you're gone, there is no more you. You're gone. And that's the grim reality I faced when I was thinking about ending my life. During my dating life, my identity was shattered. I had to pick up the pieces. Who the hell is Brian Eccles? I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, who am I? Who was I when I was 16? Who's this confident kid when I was 16 years old who just went in his basement, turned on some club music and danced the hell of the night away? Or sat there and played D&D with his friends, played Magic the Gathering with his friends, and didn't care if he lost or won? That was that kid. What is the confidence of that kid that I can bring into my 30s now? What is the confidence? Where is that confidence from? What the hell happened? Who changed me? Who told me I wasn't good enough? Who told me that I wasn't the best? Because obviously, they're not me. I'm standing here right now, and I'm me, and I'm happy with who I am. And I'm damn proud that I stepped outside the box to talk to this woman, because I attracted a person who makes me happy and makes me smile every day. She is my +1, my one-up mushroom every time I start dying. She always picks me back up. Now, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great, guys, if you could just step outside the box, step outside the tavern? Because the first step is stepping outside the tavern.
So, I have a challenge for you guys. How many of you have a favorite card shop, or a favorite area where you get together, play D&D, or just get together with pretty much any other kind of activity where you can actually hang out and just chill?
Even arcades, if you're here in the Columbus area, there's plenty of arcades to hang out at.
But you stay in those little cliques. You stay there with just your friends. You don't really reach out at all to maybe someone else that's hanging out there. So, as an introvert, I'm telling you, you've got to step out. And it could just be these smallest steps at first. I played disc golf not frisbee golf, disc golf. Absolutely awesome, fun sport. But when I was first getting into it, I wanted to get to know more of the players around me. So I decided to sign up for my very first tournament. I was the only woman with a bunch of guys, and I didn't know a single person. And I'm going, why the hell did I sign up for this thing? So I started talking to the workers. I got involved. And just reaching out to even just one person can make a huge difference in how things go on. You fast forward 3-4 years later, you're good. I was actually the vice president of that same club. It is possible. You just have to take that first step.
And here's the challenge. I'm going to throw this out here right now. We're coaches. We're dating coaches. So who here wants a taste of how to transform their dating life tonight? Because we are letting you guys have the opportunity to be coached by us right here, right now, tonight. Because we want you guys to go home with something tonight. We want you guys to have a chance. Introverts, we're talking to you too, because we need to get you guys to break out of that box. We want to help you guys walk through a little role-playing exercise. If you're, first of all, for guys in the room, if you have trouble talking to women and you want help with talking to a woman,
I'm right here.
Role-playing exercise.
But we do have a volunteer. Come on up. Thank you. What's your name?
Erica.
Nice to meet you. So, props.
Props. This is right here. This is confidence. You can see she's nervous, but at the same time, she's here. She's here.
And I'm the only girl.
So, what would be one aspect you'd like to be coached on today? Sorry.
Share mine.
I would think that professionally I'm about communication, but then when it comes to trying to talk to other people, if I feel they're not interesting enough, I would kind of be part of the ghost as well. And then they would end up ghosting me as well, so then how can I keep the conversation going?
Okay, so for how to keep, your mic is louder.
I told you.
So for keeping the conversation going, you're struggling trying to find something to be able to talk about. That is not a fun spot. The best thing I can suggest, and please step in here next, is just start popping out different little things. You're trying to maybe say, okay, what kind of favorite movies maybe? Or your favorite music, favorite anime, manga, something to begin to try and start another conversation.
You want me to show her what I do?
Yes.
Okay, so this is me. So pretend this is the game store. I walk in the door. I'm observing. I walk in because I'm nervous at first. And I'm observing. I'm casually walking over to my favorite section because it's also a bookstore. And I'm looking at the manga. And I'm looking at the D&D books. And here comes a girl over. And she's looking at the same section. I'm like, watching. And then she picks up, like say, if there was a manga on D&D manga, volume 1. Oh, have you read that? Oh, hi. Yeah, have you read that? Yeah, I'm curious about it. My friends told me about it. Oh, I read it. It's pretty cool. Start talking about it a little bit, but not too much, because we as geeks, we struggle with one thing. We're passionate about, especially D&D and comics and everything, and we just go boom, and we just load it on them. Like, for example, dating profiles. Putting too much on your dating profile is a bad thing, because you don't want them to know too much about you. You want to give hints, like she said, my dating profile. It started out with, I believe the title was Working. If you know what that is, talk to me. And then it went into first paragraph, first sentence, I kid you not. For the Alliance, if you are a Horty, we need to talk because this war is bullshit. And then I go into talking about D&D and like, hey, have you ever rolled a 20-sided dice before? If you have, I want to know your character class because I happen to be an Elvish Rogue level 3. And that shows a little bit about my nerdy stuff. And what I learned as I went through is you don't want to put it necessarily in the words on the profile when you're trying to capture their attention. The first thing you want to do is have pictures. So maybe try cosplaying as some of your characters or something and just put on like a cute little hat of like one of your favorite characters or something and just have a picture of you. And then like little words at the bottom, like a little caption of something. That's how you first start out. And then with the conversations, like conversation starters, always observe. Like if you're in public and you're in a game store or you're at a bookstore or something, observe what they're doing. And the people you want to approach, you casually approach, you're just going up and you say, hey, I notice you're checking that out. Have you checked out this before? And you just start talking the conversation. And then at the end, I always had this biggest trouble, and I finally conquered this, was always having the nerves to ask to continue the conversation afterwards. It's like, hey, so I like the conversation. Thursday night, we're having a D&D group. Do you want to come join us?
Sounds like fun.
And, okay, well, do you mind if I get your phone number then so I can keep contacting you so I can let you know about other books and stuff? We can just get to know each other. And that's how you start getting to that point, but it takes a lot of confidence just to get to that point. That's the first step. So, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, that's what I was going to think.
Okay.
It is not easy. But you start popping up, asking about these different things. As Brian had said, maybe you see them looking at something and you strike up a conversation with that. And you start suggesting different things. You never know what's going to spark that conversation again. You just have to keep trying, unfortunately.
Because online dating is definitely not easy. Like, I've launched a war on online dating in a sense. That's why we call ourselves Dating Wars, because of the fact that online dating, so many apps are just swipe left if you like, swipe right if you don't. They don't even look at the profile. But a lot of apps I've noticed, because I've been looking at them just to get some more feedback for myself to help you guys.
Or costs a lot of money too.
Yes.
That too. You can actually pick the photo and you can actually read their profiles. But I'm encouraging people to go back to the old-fashioned way of dating. You guys are at a Comic-Con, for crying out loud. This is a Comic-Con. If you're here this weekend, go out there and talk to people. Get to know people. Get some contact infos. Keep the conversation going.
For those who show up in cosplay, or maybe see someone in your favorite character, you know what? That is an instant conversation magnet. We started talking right outside. All night. I am here.
I am tired.
Yes.
Exactly, we all are. It's 10:30. It's past 10:30. It's almost 11.
So you just start a conversation. You try to see where it goes. Yeah, online it's very easy to ghost or to be ghosted, and maybe not even mean it. You just have to keep popping up with different things about activities that you enjoy, favorite items you enjoy, maybe just your favorite food, and see where it goes.
Here's another thing about online dating. If you do get ghosted, don't blame yourself. Because I've had several women who have ghosted me in the past, who just recently reached out to me, finding out that I'm in a happy relationship, but they're apologizing to me because they said that they had a lot of shit going on in their own lives. So chances are, if you get ghosted by somebody, they might have something going on in their own life. So if you are beating yourself up, don't. Because it's not you, it's also them. It's always a two-sided street. Every relationship is a two-sided street. And in order to have a happy relationship, you have to be able to understand it's a two-sided street. She has her bad days, I have my bad days. I have to understand from my perspective that it's not her when she says something that might sound demeaning or hurtful to me.
Or snapping.
It's not my fault. She's probably tired. Or she's overworked, or she's exhausted, or a million other things are going on. Same goes with dating when you're talking to people online. If they ghost you, either A, they could have found their partner already and be dating them, because you don't, a lot of people have this habit of thinking when they start talking to somebody and they start getting into this motion that, oh my God, yes, someone's talking to me. I got it, I get the chance, they're mine, I know I don't. And then poof, they're gone, and then all of a sudden you feel bad about yourself. So just see it as an adventure, because when it comes to like D&D, the way that we do our approach is that we tell everybody that the moment you are in the tavern, you're talking to people, but you're also gathering your party. You're making friends. You're gathering your party to leave the tavern to go on your adventure. So as you leave the tavern, you're going on your adventure and you're talking to people, just continue your adventure. Keep going. Keep shooting those arrows. And you're going to land your mark eventually. Keep slicing down the goblins that are coming your way, because you're going to have monsters that's going to pop up. You're going to have your own personal demons inside that's going to chew you up inside every single night, every single day. They're going to be in there and they're going to be telling you things about yourself. And you can't believe the negativity. You just got to keep pushing forward and saying to yourself, I can do this. I can do this. It's not me. I just need to learn better. Maybe you learn better communication skills. Or maybe just keep trying and learn how to show more of yourself in your photos. Like I said, cosplay, for example. If you're a D&D nerd and you're playing D&D, get somebody to take photos. You sitting there with the DM and everything in the whole little mini map with all the little miniatures, if you guys use miniatures, and take pictures of that and put that on there. Be yourself. Because the key word about being a geek is being yourself. Every one of us that cosplays,
You need to own your own geek, guys. Sorry.
every one of us that cosplays, you step into that character. Same with D&D. When you're at the table, most of us love role-playing as our characters. Like, oh my God, I go into my voice. So, what's going on here? Oh, we got a problem again. You know, and you see that, and you step into that character, and you truly embody that character outside of the D&D table. You go out and you take those confidence of your character, of your rogue, your knight, your Templar, whatever you're playing as. Figure out, why did you choose that character class in the first place? Why? What makes you think? And don't just dismiss it as just stats and say, oh, it's because he's got strong stats, he's got a strong spell book. No. What makes you good at role-playing your character when you're sitting down? Like, for example, I was talking to you about the D&D experience you had earlier tonight. How horrible it was. It's like I was explaining to him that my first D&D encounter was horrible too, because I was the DM and we got slaughtered by goblins. And everybody's looking at me like, do something, you're the DM. It's like, we all have our bad days when it comes to dungeoning. We all have our bad days when it comes to life. You don't let it beat you down. You look at your favorite heroes. Take your favorite heroes. Like, what's your favorite hero? Yeah, you were just up here. What's your favorite hero? Why? Is it because he saves the day every single time and always gains extra lives every single time when he's about to die?
I guess so. So, Mario is pretty awesome.
Hey, we got a movie coming out too.
Yes.
Looking forward to it. So you think about your favorite character. Like, one of my favorite characters that I cosplay as is Deku from My Hero Academia. Why do I like Deku? Because he never gives up. Yes, he reminds me of myself because as a Virgo, I overanalyze things. He overanalyzes the battle because he's sitting there, oh my God, oh my God, charge! And then he charges in the battle and fights. And he's even gone off on his own before when he shouldn't have and did his own things. But I like how he always believes in people's true hearts, because I believe in people's true hearts. So you take your favorite character from any source And you ask yourself, and when you go home tonight, or when you go home this weekend, when you're not tired and it's not late, sit down and write down your favorite character and what qualities they embody. What can you use from that character to embody them in your life?
I would say it doesn't actually have to be a character. If you have someone in real life that you admire, they're okay too. What you want to do is you want to take some of those aspects of what they embody, what they mean to you, and then how do you want to apply that to your own life? Because this will bring aspects of you out, make them stronger. And it's just going to make you a better person overall, both in dating and in everyday life.
Here's the next question. How many of you guys have a party of your own? Friends that you hang out with? We all have friends, right? There's not anybody in this room that doesn't have any friends. Well, for those that don't, I'm encouraging you to start making some friends. For those that do, if your friends aren't encouraging you in a positive way for your dating life, then you need to start making more friends. Because you need friends, just like in D&D, who's going to be there for you. Because how many of us have had the stories where we sat down at the table where we're a bunch of rogues and ragtag wannabe heroes that are not liking each other at first, but then as the campaign closes, they got closer to bonding with each other because they saved the day, they got the gold, they got the girl, they got everything they wanted, or they died along the way. Because that's what it takes to be a true hero. Every one of you right now, in my eyes and in Jessica's eyes, already are heroes. You've gone through a lot of struggle. Every one of you has gone through a lot of struggle. So I want you to look at your hurts and your disappointments and do not see those as defeats.
Instead, learn from it. What about it was a disappointment? What about it do you consider a defeat?
Every one of you are undefeated right now, in my eyes. And if you don't believe it, here's why. You're all still sitting in this room right now, listening to us because you truly believe that there can be change in your dating life. You truly can believe that there can be change in your tomorrow. And you know that the things that you've gone through are only learning lessons. So look back to every single one of your past relationships, including the worst ones, and figure out what about yourself did you learn? And what about those relationships that you were in did you like about that person? And start making a list. Yes, guys, we need a list. Women have their lists. Men need lists too. I made my list. And when I met Jessica,
Well, let's just say that list was a shocker.
I just, spoiler alert right now, every single box was checked off. After 10 years of dating, miserable, alone, didn't want to be here, didn't know who I was, then married for the 10 years that I was. Yeah, 20 years of going through a lot of hell. From that 16-year-old version of myself years ago that I told you guys about earlier, the confident version of me that could conquer. He was that wolf that came out that could just prowl the field and nothing would hurt him. Arrows would pierce him, he'd be bleeding. But then he'd transform into the shaman, go out, perform his magic, knock down a dragon, transform into a wolf again, or maybe transform into the dragon that he just killed, and take off flying and see an adventure and see the world. Because every one of you are capable of that.
So, one of the tidbits we're going to give you, when you're making that list, I want you guys to begin to think about what attracted you to that person in the first place. As Brian said, try not to concentrate on the negative. We've all had negative. And I want you to begin to think about what was the positive. Write down that positive. Because you know what? That's just going to help you find your next person. Because that's going to be able to find the person that you want, the person that you are attracted to. And as that list it gets narrowed down and as you grow, you're going to find your someone. You're gonna find that someone you can drag to the next Comic-Con, pull into your D&D campaign, or into the next Sea of Thieves thing.
Or into Doctor Who. Yes, I finally got you into Doctor Who. I'm so excited. But
It only took almost 4 years.
no, the next thing too is you got to figure out after you get that list, are you regularly doing those things? Okay, you want somebody who can dress up and cosplay with you? You're at a Comic-Con. You want somebody who's nerdy and geeky like you? You're at a Comic-Con. But are you going to all the Comic-Cons? Or are you just going to certain ones? Well, if you think, and then you start thinking, well, I can't afford to go out west to Colorado Comic-Con. It's like, you know, you save up for your dreams, because that's what I did. I saved up for wanting to go to the places that I would normally go with Jessica, and I went with myself, and I acted like she was already there with me. And because of that, here she is now. You have to believe it. Like, you have to literally look next to you in your chair right now and imagine your dream partner sitting there next to you, geeking out. Imagine them going to the D&D table with you, rolling the dice with you and saying, oh, you're injured. Oh, here, let me give you some of my potions that I got here. Here, I don't need them. Here, toss them your way. Okay, you good? Watch out for there's a goblin ahead. Watch out for that. It's up in the tree. You want me to give? No, you got him? Okay. Cool. I'll sit back. Oh, nice shot. And then going up to the autograph booths with them. Like, imagine them geeking out. Like, I could never imagine her watching me geek out, because I used to be like, oh my God! Look, it's like fanboy. It's like, oh my God, he's here. There he is.
I have to admit, that's one of my favorite things about Comic-Cons is watching him geek out. But then we had the opportunity to go to Chicago and meet some of My Hero voice actors. Yeah, he was laughing at me geeking out.
Especially the Disney princesses that walked by.
Yes, I'm a Disney fan. But we wanted to leave you guys with 2 main lessons tonight. And that is your confidence. Start breaking down those walls. Step out. Try talking to somebody. You never know who you're going to meet next. It could be your best friend a year from now, right? Or it could be your next date.
Could be somebody at your next job.
That too. But start to just take a step at a time. It's not easy, particularly for us introverts. But just try just a single conversation at first. And if you don't succeed, try again. There is no fail, guys.
No, you did it wrong. Do or do not, there is no try. That's how you're supposed to do it. Because, see, here's the thing. How many people are in America? How many people are in the world? You cannot be the only person with the issues that you're having with dating. There's somebody out there who's having the exact same issues with you. She had the same issues that I had. She kept getting the scumbags reaching out to her, the ones with the sexual comments. And that's something else too. And this is for the men. If you're a gamer and you're playing like PlayStation or Xbox and you hear a woman's voice on the other end and she sounds sexy, don't say, ooh, a chick gamer. I'm gonna approach her. This could be my chance. No, do not treat them as an object to conquer, because that's what all the dating books tell us. To be alpha man, you have to walk into bar like this, go over to woman, hey,
And
how
get
you
punched in
doing?
the face for something like that.
You don't want to be like that. That's not the definition of confidence. The definition of confidence is being who you are, being okay with who you are, while not being too cocky. Because there's a such thing as being too cocky, and I went there. I followed the advice of the books. And rejection after rejection after rejection, and even getting hurtful words thrown my way. And I'm like, no. What am I doing? Why am I listening to their advice when I should be listening to what's in here? What's this telling me about myself? Who am I really? And the journey began.
Be yourself. Even if you're playing with somebody you're attracted to, just be yourself. That is the best thing you can do.
Get to know them. If there's a female sitting across from you and you're attracted to her, get to know her. Yeah. If she's got a ring on her finger, cool, okay. She could be a cool friend. She might have some single friends that she could introduce you to. But she's at the D&D table with you. If you're attracted to guys and you're sitting there, you know, same thing. Geek out with them. Sit there and talk to them. Talk to them about why they chose that character. Talk to them about why you chose your character. Ask them what their adventures and campaigns they've been through. Ask them what D&D books they've read, novelizations if you read novels, because now I do.
And just keep building that confidence, taking that step forward. You'll be amazed at how what that takes to you too. It really is. But the other lesson we want to leave you tonight is to start that list. Think about your past. Think about your exes. Try to tone down on dwelling on the negatives.
And
it's too easy to do that.
And don't think about the area you're living in either. I want you guys to think outside the box, because if you're coming from like a small town of less than 1,000 people, or between 1,000 to 2,000 people, and you've tried your luck in your town, think outside the box.
There's the internet. It worked for us. It can
Long
work for you.
distance relationships can work if you give them the effort, but it's all dependent how much, and it goes back to the beginning, how much do every one of you want to change your dating life? When you go home tonight, starting tomorrow, because it's late tonight, but I want you guys to start tomorrow. Start tomorrow. Start thinking about it before you go to bed tonight. When you go to bed tonight, try this exercise. And I know it sounds goofy. It's going to sound weird, but I want you to just visualize. Visualize what you want. Visualize the kind of dream you want. Like your house, your future, your career. And then visualize that person you want next to you. Now, she's not going to look exactly like you see in your dreams. She's not going to look exactly like Mr. Honcho with six-pack abs from the magazine you just saw. But you got to be willing to just look for the qualities. What qualities do they have? See yourself spending time with that person. Because if you're spending time with somebody who's not a gamer and you're a gamer and they're sitting there making fun of you for gaming, they're not for you, people. But they're a learning lesson, because every single date you go on that is a failed date is not a failed date. It is a date that you learn something about yourself. It's learning. Because that's how you level up in D&D. You learn from your experiences. You roll that dice, you move forward. And the same goes with any video game, any RPG. Because life is an RPG. You wake up every day and you're the avatar of yourself. I'm the avatar of Brian. I wake up, I am Brian, again for another day. What am I going to do? How am I going to change the world? Well, I can't change the world because there's a billion plus people. So what am I going to do to impact the people around me? What am I going to do to impact the people that see my videos on social media? What am I going to do to impact the people that's at my D&D table? What are you going to do to impact, to change your life, to make it better? And it starts by accepting your geekiness. Accept it, embrace it, because you are unique. There is not another you. There's not another any of you in the world exactly like you. But there's a partner out there who is exactly like you, or close to it. Prime example right here, if you don't believe it. Right here. Happy man, happy woman, together.
So you step out of that box. You have those conversations. You start remembering what you liked about your ex, what you enjoy, and start imagining that in your future partner.
There's a song that Jessica and I always listen to. And if you haven't seen this movie, The Greatest Showman, it is an amazing movie because it's a prime example of dreams that can come true. A Million Dreams is a song, and the guy's visualizing, it starts as a little boy, and then he grows up into the man, and he's visualizing the life that he wants to give for his woman, that he wants to give for himself, to give to the world. Start visualizing that. Now you're going to have the negative voice. You're going to go into that cave and you're going to see that dragon coming at you. That dragon that transforms into a sorcerer that looks exactly like you. Just like Yoda taught Luke when he walked into that cave and he saw his father, and then he saw himself in his father, but it wasn't really himself or his father. It was just a ghost teaching him a lesson. What is your negative voices telling you? Then you start rewriting that. I'll never be happy. you change that to, I am happy. I am happy and confident with who I am. I don't know how to talk to people. People keep ghosting me. You change that. How would you change that, Jess? I'm going to challenge you. How would you change that?
Just keep talking about different things, see what they respond to. And give them an opportunity. Maybe they are busy. They could have 13, 14-hour days, or an insane little boy who rules the house, where it's not the adults, it's the boy. So just be a little patient, keep attempting, and if they don't respond after a while, then okay, move on. You don't want to just keep dwelling on that one person, because if they don't try to take the time with you too, then you need to just move on.
You need to be the
Just don't
dungeon
get too
master.
offensive.
You need to be the dungeon master of your own life. You need to conquer. Every day, when you wake up out of bed, you get another one-up mushroom. You get that. Every day you get a chance to slay that dragon. You always fail, right? Because dating is such a big dragon that's there, and it's like this huge obstacle, and I'm never going to conquer it. I'm not going to be the knight. I'm not going to become that big knight, the big shield, riding the dragon. You do. You do become the conqueror of dragons. Once you conquer this, it all starts up here. You need to stop listening to the negative voices from your past of what people told you about yourself. Because yes, people are mean. Sea of Thieves proves that. People are mean. They bully you, they push you around, they tell you stuff about yourself, but it's up to you if you listen.
It's up to you to stand up. So, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Jessica Ferris.
And I'm Brian Eccles.
And we are the Dating
Dating
Warriors.
Warriors. If anybody has any questions after all, any of the introverts that didn't want to come up or anything, we're going to be hanging out outside here. So if anybody wants to talk to us and get to know us, or also just ask some questions about how they can improve their life, we're more than happy to help, because we're here to have fun just like you guys, but we also want you guys to really just step into who you are as a person, as a human being, and just own yourself, own your character, roll that dice and get that critical 20 every single day. Be willing to step out of bed and just roll that dice and do it. If not for you, but for your future self then. Look at your future self who's down the road and just think about who you can become. Because they're waiting for you to step into those shoes. They're waiting for you to step into that costume. They're waiting for you to step out of that floor. And they're waiting for you to get the hell out of the tavern. You're never going to conquer the world or conquer the dragons if you don't step outside of the tavern.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.